So here we are, ready to start making our name tag for our drawer. You should have gotten name tag paper from me. And if you didn't, then you'll have to get the name tag paper because it needs to fit the size of the drawer. And you will return this to me when you come back to class. But for right now, you don't need to send a photo or anything. We just want to make sure that it gets returned so we can actually stick it on your name tag drawer. So what will happen here is, this is a graphic art assignment, so we're thinking about this in a way where you want to have something that's artful and that's legible. That means that I can actually read it. A lot of students already know how to make bubble letters, so I'm going to use the name, not the class art, but there's some people that we'll use the word Sam, how about that, for a name. So just to keep it simple for a demonstration. A lot of times students make name tags and they'll do something like, I know how to make bubble letters, and then they write the word, their letter down or their name on here, and they get done writing their name and they go, oh, it's not centered. Well, that's part of graphic art, is figuring out how to do all this, and so this is the way that you're going to do this using some guidelines. What we want to do is get our piece of paper, a ruler, a pencil, and an eraser, and you want to create some guidelines. Guidelines will stop your letters from going too high on the page, like some going too high, some going too low, some going too low, some going too high. It keeps everything even. So for instance, if I wanted to keep a guideline that looked like this, I'm going to draw lightly, I'll make a guideline. Lightly down here, make a guideline. I could make guidelines that are actually like wavy if I wanted to. If I wanted my name to look like it gets bigger and smaller, if I wanted my name to get bigger and then go smaller, I could make my guidelines go like this if I wanted to. And what you're going to do then is grow your letters from the top of the line to the bottom of the line, just like we did in elementary school when we learned how to write letters. Then we also need to, so these are our guidelines from the top and the bottom, then we need guidelines for the edges. So in order to do that, instead of writing lines and then going over them or whatnot, what we're going to do is actually start in the middle. Sam is a 1, 2, 3 letter word, 1, 2, 3 letter name. So I'm going to start with my letter in the middle of the paper like this, about the center, and this is where I'm going to grow my A. I'm going to grow it from this side of the center and this side from the center, and now I know that my name is centered right to begin with. So I'm going to do my A on here just using lines. Then I'm going to draw my S over on this side, and my M can be over here. I want my M to be about the same width as my S, so I'm going to measure on both sides. There we go. And now I have a name that's centered and I have even edges. I only did this with lines, even though I know how to make bubble letters, because I was just looking at spacing. I'm looking at, can I read it? I'm looking at where my letters start and end. And now I can turn them into bubble letters. You can make any kind of font that you want. That rhymes, font that you want. I'm going to make mine all be different, all my letters be different on here. And maybe this one I'll make pointy. You can make all your letters be kind of the same like I did up here, or you can make them all be different. You're the artist in charge, so you can decide on this. Then you want to decorate this, but for our art assignment this time, we're only studying black and white design. So everything that you make has to be done with a black and white tool. So I can't use colored pencils, but I could use just a pencil. I can't use paint because it'll make the paper bend a lot and be all wavy. I could use markers, but the only color I could use is black because it's a black and white design. So you decide how you want to fill this in. And you also decide how to make the letters look different from the background. So I'm erasing my guidelines so people don't see how I made that. It's kind of like my artist trick or secret. I'll erase these out. And then I can decide if I want my background to be dark and my letters to be light, or if I want my letters to be dark and my background to be light. For instance, let's say on here I wanted to have a pattern in my A that looks like this. Well, I've already made my A darker than my background. Now it pops out. Maybe with my M, I'm going to come in here and I'll make some really dark outlines. And I can come up with a new design on the inside of here. Maybe it's like a spiky design. Then it starts to look different than my background. It's not much different, so then as I work, I'm going to work on adding more and more lines or textures to make it stand out from the background, because I want my background to be different than my letters. So I can read it from afar. That's being legible. And it looks interesting. So that A looks kind of light now. Maybe I'll go over it again and I can kind of balance it with my M. You can make all your letters be the same, or you can make your letters be different like I am now. It's up for you to decide. Sometimes students have little cartoon characters that they like to draw in, and they'll make like stick people holding on or do something funny like that to the edge. Whatever you want to do, this is all about you, but the rule is I have to be able to read it. The letters have to be a shape. They should be balanced, so not all on one side, all on the other side. And I have to see dark to light from the background and the letters themselves. So a few rules in there, and yet totally doable. And then bring this to class when you come back to class. Thanks for watching. Enjoy. Bye-bye.